Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Art of Craft. Welcome to midweek deals. Loving this midweek thing because I get to play with some brilliant products. And I've got to be honest, this week's collection is beautiful. Sam came home from work yesterday and he came in the craft cave and he went, "Why have you made so many samples?" And I just couldn't stop. I really couldn't stop. So, what is midweek deals for anyone watching? So, hello watching on Facebook. So you're watching on the Art of Craft Facebook. And we've tried to do it so you can watch on the John Next Door official Facebook as well now, so that you can actually see both, which is really good. And hello if you're watching on YouTube. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, then you can't actually, if you comment, I can't see them. Because I can't have 16 screens open, only 5 at the same time. So I can't see comments. If you've got any comments, pop them in the comments on Facebook. If you've got a question, just put the word question or the letter Q and ask your question, and we'll try and agree. And Nicola Leishman said, "My bank account does not agree with you." No, mine doesn't, Nicola, because the amount of card that I am buying and going through, just making so many beautiful samples. Literally, I wish I could show you. There is a box. We're going to be doing some giveaways of cards, and the lovely Leslie Lakin has agreed. Well, it was her idea. She offered the cards that she's been putting on that people have been going crazy over. We're going to be giving away in coming weeks. But I've got a massive box there of cards I've been making because I've just been loving it. And it's a hobby and I enjoy it. So I understand you, Nicola. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. What are midweek deals? Midweek deals are special deals from the Art of Craft and Crafts too. So it covers any of the brands that we've distributed, any of our own or anything, at limited time deals. So these are limited time offers. Now I've got to say, one has already sold out. So one of tonight's bundles has already sold out, I'm afraid, because it's a case of getting in there fast. So I'm going to take you through. This is the Art of Craft page. So this is where the link takes you to. And what you can see here is you can see, so already, oh, I loved playing with that one. So well done if you got that one. I will still show you the samples because it's not fair not to. But this is the page where the link is that gives you all of the things that are on tonight's show. So we've got these amazing deals. They are available until they're gone, and when they're gone, they're gone. We won't be getting any more in. And recently we've been selling out quickly, which is the only reason I'm saying to people, get in there fast. Just love that. There's so much you can do with that bubbles one. There really is. It's the same with my favourite is the Honeycomb, daft as it sounds. But this one is my favourite. I wonder if Charles has put all the pictures on. Yeah, love that. This is so useful. But look how different that looks. And that looks. And that looks. So many different things that you can make with this one. So we've got that bundle. We've got this bundle. I'm going to take you through them individually. The circles. And then we've got these beautiful Vintasias, which are just... It's worth throwing them in if you need to make it up. So remember that we're talking about the P&P being free over £20. So it's free P&P at £20. So if you want to make it up, throw one of those in. They're beautiful. I'm going to show you some of those in a little while because I've made some samples with those. But I'm going to take you through these first. So our first offering tonight is literally my favourite, to be honest. So good evening, Sarah Jane. Sorry. These are beautiful background eyes. These, look at the size. This is obviously A4, because I always think it's better to take them out and show you. So on A4, but you think they're just going to line up and give you, oh, like lots of hexagons. They're not. These are offset. They're so clever. So this is your first deal, and this is £10.99 for both. Yeah, Karen's just said, I think I better check out my basket before they go. Yeah, do that, Karen. They do combine orders if they can. So if you do put, as long as you go over that £20, if you put a couple of orders in and count them off, they will put them into one for you. So they do have the ability to do that. So they'll combine the orders. This is so clever. This is lovely. So this is your first one, £10.99, and this is called Honeycomb. But I want to show you the samples because the first thing I did was this. I love this. And you might think, oh, this is very plain. Well, this is going to be a background for something, for what we're launching brand new on Sunday night on the craft store. So when you see one that's got nothing on it, that's blank, just a background, I'm being a little bit crafty because I think they'll work perfectly with what we've got coming. So, good evening, Jane, who says hello, fellow crafters, and Julie, and Craftaholic. I love Craftaholic. I wish I'd stolen that name. So that's that one, but it's the same one. And then I used the waste to make that. And I used the die itself as a guide to stick them in to get that beautiful pattern. I thought, what a beautiful background. And again, there might be something else appearing on that for Sunday. But it does that, which I think is so clever. So you think, when you look at the dies, you think, right, what they're going to do, John, they're just going to line up together and you're going to have like a layer of different sizes. You're not. You've got a completely different design. And I love that, certainly with these dried or skeleton leaves. I think they just work so well. But it can be used for anything. I'm going to demo that. But here's another one. Again, nothing on it because something else is going on. But look how beautiful it looks. And 3D, and it's not that thick, done with white, black and brown. I don't know if you can see the brown in the back there. Love that. So that is our first bundle, and that is the bargain of the night. That really is at £10.99 for both of them. I think that is absolutely crazy. So our second bundle that we're getting is our layered combi flower. This is the one I know that our Nicola went for. Only because she said earlier on a comment, she said, oh, I've got that one. Jackie, doesn't matter if you're buying or watching it. We want everybody here regardless. So, can you see here? This is the layered flower combi. Sorry, I got excited at the last minute and cut another sample out of this because I wanted to see what else you could do with it. But it's got all bits in it, but it gives you a better idea actually of what we're doing and how it works. So I just think this is clever. So this one is £13.99. Again, they're bigger dies because these are nearly 6x6, I think. I think that's right. They're just over 5x5, something like that. But this gives you the classic layer. So to show you the samples of this one, and I think these were so... Where's the other one gone? Oh, I made 3 of these at least. I don't know where it's gone to. But look at that. That looks so 3D and it's flat, apart from the flowers. And it's almost like a Moroccan tile or something like that. Nicola says she loves to see the demos, but order ahead, as what I like is normally gone. Yeah, that's the problem. That is, I'm going to be honest, that's the problem with the midweek deals. We don't have hundreds of any of these. When they've gone, they've gone. But this is the one I know Nicola fell in love with. It's just paper pieced. It's just a panel paper piece cut with one of the rectangles and put in. But an absolutely beautiful die set. It really is. So that one is our layered combi flowers. Our next one. Now this one I think is the one that's sold out. So I'm just going to show you the samples. I'm just going to check and make sure that it is just that one. It is this one that's sold out. So I'm sorry. You can't get the individuals on this one either. It is just those. But I did want to show you the samples because I loved them. So look at that. It looks like, it makes me think of Burberry. It really does. You can see why I loved doing so much. Oh, bright. Linda's on holiday. Where are you, Linda? Somewhere nice, I hope. But I thought that looked like Burberry. And I loved this collection of sort of black flowers and the wire that I got off our lovely Carol. And where I made a twofer. So that is just changing the colours of the same die. So you can do that. You can do these techniques with any of them. So don't worry about that. You can do this literally with any of them. But you see there, that is the waste from that. I cut out the middle just using a circle die. So there's so much more you can do with those. But I'm not going to take you through those dies because those dies have sold out. I am really sorry. I'm going to take you through the last bundle now, which is the absolutely beautiful circles, or bubbles as they call it. And again, I would look at that. Oh, Isle of Wight, very nice. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, too much Pepsi Max. Good evening, Samantha. Didn't know how Samantha was in. It looks like they just layer up and you get a layer of bubbles, which I've done, you know, we've done before. It doesn't. It's so clever. So I want to show you these ones because I did just one layer and paper pieced it. So I cut it in 4 different colours and then paper pieced it into a white one to give me that beautiful bubbles look. You can see why I love this one. And this one is $13.99. For both of them, remember, you're getting both dies for this one. But it is just, I think, so clever. But this is how the design works. Look. So this, it's not just lining them up. Doesn't it look like almost noughts and crosses or clever way? But the fact that I can make that and that from the same 2 dies was really great to me. Susan, oh dear, I've just put an order in this morning. They will, sorry Susan, they will combine your orders. But this is just using one of them, that circles, and offsetting it with one of the new, with the wave and the daisy frame. Zena's just said thanks for Saturday's Zoom class. If you haven't had a look on the group, look at Zena's cards she's made with the beautiful daisy frame maker. They are stunning. She was showing us on Saturday. They are beautiful. But that's the same, just using one of them. But here, there. You probably can't see it as well on camera. I used all the spare bits, again, to make a shaker card. And I tied them the other way round. So that's going the other way from that. So there's so many different combinations just from using these 2 dies. You can see why these are my second favourite. The bubbles are definitely my second favourite. But you can see there. So those are the 2 dies. So those are, again, $13.99. And that will get you both of them. Yeah? So that will get you both of them. So to run through them all, the different options that we've got. So I'm just going to take you again over onto the website. I love being able to do this. So let's bring in the website. So you can see there you've got that option of the layered combi dies honey, layer A and B, $10.99. You've got the layered combi dies flowers, layer A and B set. The out of stock of the square layer. And we have some left of the bubbles. But then there's also these Vintasia ones, which are so clever. So I'll show you some samples of these in a second. So you've got these. You've got children with kite. And can you see where it's a lighter colour? That's so you can colour through the die if you want to get effects and you want to get, you know, like we did with the black, with the white on the black last week. So you've got the children playing football. Now I refuse to use the word soccer, it's football. You've got, love this, girl with the doll's pram. Just so sweet. And then child playing with the dog, and the ball is a separate die. Just so clever. So let's click off that. So trying to remember everything and make sure I check everything. So, but just to show you, I only made 4 cards with these because I'm going to be doing backgrounds in Craft Cave later. So I'm going to be doing all about backgrounds in Craft Cave later. So remember to join me on John Next Door Official at 7 o'clock for Craft Cave, because I've used the backgrounds here. Look, for sort of like £2 thrown in to make it free P&P. Remember, P&P is £3.49. So if you are under £20, just under, if you throw one of these in or 2 of these in, you're almost getting them for free. It's crazy. Do I need the honeycomb stencil? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, but I love it. I do. I'm going to use it as a stencil later tonight in Craft Cave. So that's the children playing football. Look at that. I just love that. I think it's beautiful. What could we not find? I'm looking at, I'm trying to look at comments, but I can't see it. There we go. What have we lost? Remember, I couldn't find my die cutting plates. Oh, you found them. Oh, that's brilliant, Shiona. Tell me where were they? But that is so sweet. It's like £2, £2.4 or something stupid. And then child playing with the dog. The ball is separate, so you can choose what you can have it right up here. You can have it wherever you want. And then the kids with the kite. But they've got the design completely right. I never do figurative dies because I can't get them right. I need to alter the angle of this, don't I? Because all you're seeing is hello, big chins. But beautiful, beautiful cards. But just made, and these will be made using scrap backgrounds that I had. But again, if you want to do children's cards, or Emma, if you're selling your cards and you want something to sell for children, they're so cute because they're beautifully made. They're so, so detailed. You can tell that they're pulling a kite. You can see it's sort of a girl and a boy. You know, you've got all those different options. So those are the Vintasia to add them on. Samantha Hughes, love the dog. Yes, that's very, very you. Yeah, you should get that and use it for Meggie, bless her. So I thought I'd do a demo first of how we kind of, the layering dies work. These are so easy. So what we're using here is, I'm using the Honeycomb because that was my favourite and it's the best deal. Oh, in another room, completely tucked in with some paperwork, says Ashiona, where her plates were. So these will cut you out the panel, so you don't have to bother about size or anything, or getting your card to size or whatever, because they'll cut the outside out as well. And what I've got here is, I'm going to cut one in red. And I'm going to cut, so I've cut a piece of card here to 4.5 inches just to make it a bit easier. Taped it down. Christine's placed an order. Thank you, Christine. But as I say, you can just watch for the demos. You don't, you know, these are offers and deals. If they appeal to you, brilliant. If they don't worry. Like I say, you don't need everything, but in crafting, everything is a need, isn't it? So they will fit through your A5 machines, every single one of these. So they'll fit absolutely perfectly. Well, I've not been wittering for too long today. It's only 1:15. That's really good for me. But you see, comes out, piece comes out. There's your piece. But look, every bit cuts and comes out. So easy if you want to paper piece, because there's all the pieces. And I actually love that as it stands. I think that's really nice as it stands, just like that. But there is a little trick actually that we can do to pick all of those up if we wanted to sort of do them. But it has to stick to your plate. So, you know, we've got to be careful. Oh, well, Linda's just placed an order as well. Thank you, Linda. So, move that out the way. But you see now, it's a really nice panel. If I put it on a piece of white, that to me works on its own. It's a really cool background. But look what happens when we frame it with the latest frames. That's so poppy. That is so sort of like pop art to me. It really works. But of course we can do the layer. So I've got the layer here in red, just to show you. And it's not difficult to layer them because it's like stacking cards. You just put them together. So in the same colour, we've got a completely different pattern. We pull that one out. Totally different. So there's your Honeycomb for putting on. In fact, this would be really useful for what I'll be bringing to you, especially from Memory Box on the craft store on a week on Sunday, because they are beautiful. I'm looking at them over there. They are absolutely gorgeous. That would really, really work with that. But to obviously do this, I've done the other one in blue. So we can do a traditional red, white and blue. So again, I can just frame that and it works. But when I put the red on top, so that's one option. Okay. So you see there, that's one option. And what we've got then is you don't see the dots particularly. So suddenly we've got squares. Yeah. If I turn that round, look, it then gives you a totally different look. So what I'm going to do is, just to show you, I'm going to take the other one. So I want to show again how easily they cut. So I'm going to cut that one in blue. Now, it's always easier, die cutting, it's like die cutting 101. Don't put a die like that through on a full sheet of card, because you end up pulling it out of the way and marking that card. I tend to just trim my card down roughly to the size I need. Now, I want to leave those red bits in place, so I'm just going to put it through my A4 machine because I don't want to have to clean my plates off. But you see here, so that is option 1. Yeah, really simple. Let's grab another piece of white for underneath. So let's move those out of the way. I always end up doing this, don't I? Ignoring the demos that I've got prepped and doing something completely different. This was kind of prepped. You see again, look. There. How easy is that? And I will be using this in a little while as a stencil as well because it works so well. Julie says she does love a honeycomb design. I think it's just such a clever idea and great for backgrounds. It really is. So this time you can see there is a different option again, but I'm going to move it round and show you. So this is exactly the same dies. But look what happens, the different patterns you get depending. So let's hold this one up. Let's show you front on, look. So that is the pattern we get with one option, with having it sort of left to right. This is what we get doing it right to left. How different does it look? It's the same design, the same dies, but we just do them the other way around. So there we go. Look, exactly the same design done in different ways. So clever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with those ones, and I want to show you how we put these together. So I've put these down now, and what I've done is I've already made my frame up. Obviously, I'm using the new frame makers because they fit. Right, so Shona, I love the honeycomb too. What glue would you use on such fine die cuts? Right, so I'm going to show you one option, which is using a frame, Shona. Then I'm going to show you how I would glue them flat. So I like to have a bit of depth and dimension, as you know. So what I'm going to do is, and only do this if you've got the mat, because if you stick a frame with foam tape down with all these holes in it to any other surface, it's going to stick and you're not going to get it off. So I can hover over until I'm happy that I've got an even place. Then I put it down. But even though that's thin, look, it keeps its precision. Yeah? But because I've still got adhesive sticky there, and I don't like when I'm framing things to put things in exactly this, you know, to have too much stuck. I like to have the bit of difference. But all I have to do with this is match up the pattern. So do it on the back like that, so it matches. You don't have to match the pattern. I'm matching the edges. That's why they cut out. And just push that down. And because there were spaces done, look, that's stuck. But you've still got depth in it. Can you see? But there's no depth in it. Yeah? So, to put it onto the back panel, all I would do, again, is take some foam tape. And I'm just going to put this on. I should say, loads of people keep always asking about the foam tape. The foam tape, the link is in the group for it, and there's a discount code on there. However, if you don't want to sort of pay their P&P, or you only want one roll, you can get it from the Art of Craft. So you can add a roll onto the Art of Craft, and you can get the 25-meter roll of the one I use on the Art of Craft as well. So you can add it into your bundle, and that way you're getting the sort of free P&P. So I'm just going to take that one off. Oh, evening, our lovely Carol. So I'm just going to take that off and then just put it on a piece of white. And just keep that little bit of shadow distance, like that. Trim it out. And there you can see we've got, but can you see, because I didn't glue them together, you've got a springiness in them. So it looks like it's more 3D than it actually is. Look, you see perfect at that angle. But it is actually flat and it's not too deep. But I didn't put layers in between. I just used the foam tape to hold both. So the other way, Shiona, that you wanted to know, sorry, going on to the wrong one there. This is what I'm looking at. If anyone wants to see, this is what I look at. So that's going onto my computer where I can see. That's how I do the web size. So you can do, so I'm going to do this the other way. So that way, so I cover those circles. So Carol's only just woken up from her afternoon nap. Don't blame you, Carol. I had mine earlier. In fact, I had a message from the boss saying, "Are you awake?" And I rang back an hour later and went, "I am now," thankfully. So you can spray glue it. But one of the things that you want to do, one of the things you can do, and this sometimes happens, it gets a little bit, the puller gets a bit stuck. Just use glue glaze, but don't try and go everywhere. So I'm going to put this onto a flat surface. So all I'm doing is going around and putting glue glaze on the frame, because that's the bit really I need to get stuck. So if you spend hours trying to glue this everywhere, it's not worth it and it'll go dry. So all I'm going to do is add a little bit of glue glaze on a few little junctions. That's all I need to do. So it's around the edge and then about 3 or 4 in the middle. And then match up your corners like that. And press it down. And that will be dry instantly. So that's instantly dry. Yep, stuck, done, won't move or anything. So again, if I want to put that down to white, I'm going to do exactly the same again. So I'm going to use my glue glaze and I'm just going to go around the outside, just like this. And if you're wanting to glue this onto like a fixed, like a flat piece, I found if I try to cut a piece that fits exactly, it never fits right. So what I do is I've taken a bit that's a bit bigger, but match up top and bottom. What's Nicola said? Oops, ordered the honeycomb and somehow donated to Dogs Trust at the same time. Oh, well done, Nicola. So I've matched 2 ends, but if I try and get a piece that's exactly right, it never fits properly. So all I'm going to do then, I can take my scissors like that, or you can take your guillotine, excuse me, and bring that in and just trim down. But that's an easier way. So then we've got a sort of piece and a piece. And a lot of people say, well, how do you then turn that into a card? And what I do is, to set it off, I'll add 1/4 inch on. So I'll measure it, go, right, so this is 4 1/8 by nearly 6. So 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. So I'll grab a piece of coconut white, and it was 4 1/8. So I want to add 1/4 inch on, so 4 3/8. And it was 5 7/8, so I'm going to add 2/8 on, so I'm going to make it 6 1/8. Yeah. Oh, Sarah Jane says you could sit for hours and paper piece those. You can, certainly, as because I found, look, they stick easily to the board. Just like that. Yeah, don't know why. Maybe it's because my boards are sort of like being used so much. But that's perfect for paper piecing. Because I'm keeping those because I want to show you in a minute something we can actually do with them. So then I want to put a mat on this. So I'm going to take the red, because that's the colour I want. And all I do is add 1/8 inch on. Now, I've got to go to my big guillotine for this. So I'm going to go to my big guillotine, and it was 4, let's bring it in. because it's going to be easier. Bum, bum, bum. Because I need to go over 6 1/8. So let's measure. So it was nearly 4 1/2. So I'm going to go to 4 1/2. And I know the other measurement was 6 1/8. So 6 1/4. Just like that. Gives me the perfect match. And the colour I chose is the colour that's in the background. Yeah? So a little bit of glue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the back of there. Put that one on. Okay. Same on the back of this one. And I put that one. But you see why I went for 1/4 of an inch? Just really frames it. Gives it a lot of depth. Oh, our Deborah's here. Good evening, Deborah. I love paper piecing. It's so relaxing. People are... I've never been a fan. And I've got right into it recently. I absolutely loved doing the one with the circles. That one. Absolutely loved doing that. Wait to see on Sunday what I'm going to put on here. Because it will look beautiful what's going on there. So... a little bit of glue. Now I've just got a scrap of card blank where I've cut a piece of A3. So I'm just going to put that on, get it even on 3 edges, just like that. Susan's been using her new guillotine, love it. Honest, I wouldn't be without mine, Susan. I know the offer's finished now, the spring offer. But if you got it, you did so well. Yeah. There you go. Look, perfect. So 2 done really, really easily. But I did say I was going to show you a little way that we can do a little bit of sort of freelance paper piecing. So, is that wide enough? Not quite. So let's just grab a scrap of card. And I'm going to go, what have I got? I've got blue at the minute. So let's grab a piece of the red. Says John. Oh, I've got not finding. Oh, there it is. Honestly, I'm an idiot. So I'm just going to clean that out. So I've left those blue pieces on my board. Yeah. I'm going to take the red off. What's this? I had to download an imperial ruler for measurements as I can never work them out otherwise. I'm so sorry, Nicola. I was only ever taught metric, but unfortunately card making always seems to be in Britain in imperial, so I taught myself imperial and now I can't get out of it. So where's my top plate gone? Good job I have spares, just as bad as everyone else. So I'm just going to cut this one. So this is using that one. So this is a different way of paper piecing. So straight away that comes off, and all my pieces stay on my plate. So I've now got a plate of red and a plate of blue. You could do it stage by stage. It's really simple. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take a square of our coconut white card and I'm just going to go 5 1/2, 5 1/2. Okay. So what I want to do is, this is going to be my guide. So I'm going to give it a really light spray. So you can give it a really light spray or give it a stencil spray, or you can tape it down. So I'm just going to edge that to the edge. And this is only lightly glued. Yeah. So it's really lightly glued. Or you could just tape it down and use it like a stencil. So you can tape it down like that. Yeah, so easy. So let's bring my blue in. And then I'm going to do, I almost want to do a stripe. So I'm going to do blue, white, red, blue, white, red, blue. So I'm putting glue glaze in taking my 4-in-1 tool, picking up the pieces. So you don't have to use, you know, double-sided adhesive. You can just easily use your glue glaze. Okay, so I went blue, white, red. Okay, so I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go, let's do it. Let's do a little bit more random. I mean, what I would actually do is, I'm going to put in blue, red, blue, red. So a little bit of glue glaze in, pick up from the other board my red. Don't worry, you've got that red background, but this will make sense. So I'm going to leave those ones white. Yeah, simple. I meant to say don't put one in there, but we'll work that one out. So then I've got a full one there, so I'm going to go with that one being blue. So that one would be blue. You can play and do this randomly, which is how I did it originally on the card, but it just works. So I know for a fact I'm doing stripes, so that's going to be blue and that's going to be blue. That's going to be blue and that's going to be blue. Simple. What's it? Glue gel works so well on vellum. It does, and it dries on vellum clear, which makes such a difference. So you can see there. Okay, there's my stripes. Put it into place, and it's stuck with glue glaze. So I don't have to protect anything else. I'm then going to put in the red. So there'll be a red there, there, and there. A red there, there, and there. Nice and simple. So again, taking it off my plate. I should bring that in so you can see. So I've got my plate here. So I'm just taking them off my plate. Red. There we go. But this helps me with placement. Now I'm thinking, I think I'll need another colour because there's too much white. So I'm going to do another colour in a second. I'm going to be really naughty. Okay, just like that. Yeah, and that would leave white, but it won't work so well. So I need to get another colour through. So I'm going to take off, because you don't have to have them all in the right place. Where's my scraper gone? There it is. Don't need to leave them stuck to your plate, because I can take them off. And so now I'm going to go with a light blue, a real pale pastel blue. One of our canvas card packs, do that. This is what I do when I'm crafting at home, watch. Because I don't want to waste. Because I don't want to waste the card and I don't want to spoil it. So we'll just run that one through. So while that's running through, I'll just run you through. So this one is £10.99 for both of the dies. And they are, as far as I'm aware, still in stock. Because obviously I don't have access, I have the same access as you. So yeah, this is the only one left in stock now. So yeah, sorry guys. Karen's just bought some glue glaze to try it. Karen, you'll be back. Trust me, you'll be back for glue glaze. You really will, because it's just perfect. It's used for so much. I mean, if I could show, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 at the moment because I have a fear of running out. But the other glue is on the water, so don't worry. So I'm just going to go again now, and I'm going with a light blue. But it's just a fun thing to do, this, and it's not time consuming. And because each piece is exactly the same, you don't have to sit and worry about them, about which piece comes from which bit. But also, I know at the moment it looks a bit of a mess, but we've not got to the trick bit yet. So I'm going to stop there. Okay. So nice. Yeah. So that one there, ooh, well, that one would be light blue, wouldn't it? and that one would be light blue. So take one of the side pieces, pop it in. Take one of those, pop that in. Just like that. But then because we only lightly glued this, oh, Margaret Cundall's on a 6-day break in Wales. Very nice, Margaret. Wish I could join you. But look, peel that off. No one will ever work out how you've done that. And of course, I said that one shouldn't be there. So I'm going to pull that one off because I'm going to glue over it. But all I do is move it on until I reach the other side. And then tape it back down and push it back down. Then I can finish it off. How clever is this? So, I know there's 2 more blue there. So, it's light blue there. There we go. The next stripe after light blue is dark blue. Julie still hasn't tried the glitter. Honestly, Julie, try it. Please. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. It's one of those I would not be without. But you see how we can keep this going really simply. Into there. Okay. So the next one will be red, which will be that one will be red, that one will be red, that one will be red. So grab my plate with my red on. Red. Red. It's a finishing, so I'm going to finish it with a finish piece. And that one, of course, next to the red is blue. So on that one, I want a bit of blue. And we go on there, just like that. There we go. And then all we do is peel that off. But look, I think that a little bit of a glue eraser, but no one will work out how you've done that. So if I show you forward, look, nobody will be able to work out how have you got those so even? They're just stuck on as well, because you're using that as a stencil, or you're using that as a placement tool. And of course you could do it completely randomly, which is how I had it in my sample here. But I did the same thing there. See how they're all spaced exactly right? I used that to cover it over. So let's pop that one back in, something like it. There we go. There you go, you see? And we can tear it or other bits. Sarah James will be keeping the leftover bits for other cards. I used them last time, Sarah Jane, in one of the cards as a shaker card when I did the circles in a similar way. But yeah, keep hold of all the bits, because you could make loads of these. So you could make absolute loads of these. And of course, the other thing that we've got is we've got this one, but of course I've got the red one still. So I can still do an offset. So I can still rotate them round. Let's grab ourselves a piece of white just to show you, because you can't see it, but look. Now that looks like cubes. But again, you could drop little pieces of other colours in it and things like that. So easy to use. But we've done that, and we've done that, all just from the same die set. And that's what I love about these. That's why I think it is just genuinely so clever. So, I think what I'm going to need to do now is, I had planned a demo to show you the others, but I'm going to have a look now because I think they've all gone. So if we have a look and see what there is. Nicholas said, I bought some cheap little storage containers that also had a main box to store little bits in. I use these ones from the Art of Craft. I've not got them on here, but let's have a look. I use the Art of Craft ones. I pulled one out. They're perfect. Let me just show you. I use those that come in the big box. So you get the box of 6. I don't want that frame to drop. So that's what I keep. I've taken the lid off because it's easier to do it, but I keep all my little bits in the box of that because these are such a good price and they're all individually sealed. I mean, that one I've got what? I've got little mini flowers in for that one. Oh, I forgot about that. That's got all my leaves in. I need that one out. But yeah, so make sure you label them, but that's what I do. But I understand what you mean, Nicola. So let's have a look and see what's left of tonight's stock, and then I'll work out what I can show you next. So let's just refresh this and let's have a look. So the Honeycomb. Oh, the Honeycomb might be available, but it looks like it's sold out. The layered combi dies of flowers have sold out, are out of stock now. The other ones are out of stock, and the bubbles are out of stock, so they've sold out completely. We've got the Vintasia dies left, which is so easy to do, so I'm going to show you something with that. But again, this is why we say on these shows, get in there as quickly as you can, because they are all limited time offers. And once they've gone, they've gone. So it's not me pushing it and trying to sell it. I just don't want to, disappoint anyone. Oh, I bought 2 of those boxes. They're great. They are wonderful. They really, really are. If we're lucky, our Nicola might find us, because I think there's a special offer where you get 2 sets of them. So 12 boxes with 2 outer boxes for them and some dies with it, because our Nicola's good at that, and she'll shout at me for asking her to do things for us again. Sorry. So what I thought I'd do is I'm going to show you how simple those little dies can be. So let me just find where I've put the demo that I prepped. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to go through. So let's go onto the overhead so you can see properly. So I'm going to go through the backgrounds tonight in Craft Cave. So I thought I would cover off backgrounds. But these dies have got a couple of different features. So I want to show you. So I'm going to show you first of all with the guy with kite. So I'm taking a piece of black card. So I'm going to go into my... there we go. Oh, perfect. My scrap black drawer. I have a drawer just of black scrap because I love our essential card. So I'm just going to cut one first of all as a sort of, so you can do it as a silhouette. So it's not just a silhouette. So I'm just going to do that first of all to cut it as the silhouette, because I wanted to show you another thing we can do with this. So let's grab a background that I'd got planned for later. There we go. I'm showing you these in Craft Cave. So, oh, thank you. Our Nicola's pulled it for us. She's a brilliant. You know, you're a star, Nicola. Let's have a look. That's ridiculous. $22.99. That is crazy. So, yeah, Nicola's pulled that one up for anyone who wants those cases, but they are just crazy. I'll show everybody and let everyone have a look at these. So this is, you're going to get 2 of these, which means you get 12, because there's 6 in each of these sealable boxes. You're going to get the outside boxes that hold them, and you're going to get 10 free sentiment dies. That's hoping they've got enough left. And that's just $22.99. That's ridiculous. I'd expect those to be, I thought they were 20 quid each. Sorry, guys. I thought they would be an awful lot more. Let me pull one in and I can show you mine, now that we've mentioned it. So this is, so here I've got, you can see buttons and brads and pearls and Christmas and crystals and sparkle and things. So you get 6 of those in, but it clicks and closes. And it will actually stand on your shelf like that and then open completely flat. Brilliant. Sherilyn, hi John, hope you and Sam are okay. Are you going to be in Bolton in June? Yes, Sherilyn, I am going to be in Bolton in June. So, yeah, I will be there. So if you're coming, come and say hello and bring cake. No, I don't mean to bring cake. That sounds awful. So this is one thing to do. So I've just cut this now, and watch. It leaves you with just 3 little pieces, and I'm going to keep those because I want to show you a couple of different ways to do it. So the first things first is, it is a beautiful piece. But look what happens when we put it on a background. Yeah, Nicola's got 4. I've only got 3. I need to get some more, actually. I really do. There's so much more I could store. In fact, I need to do an order, don't I? Yeah. So beautiful, really works. There's another thing we can do. So what you can do is to put this down. I'm going to drop this back in. Okay. So again, I really like that, but I'm going to take this piece and I'm just going to use a little bit of spray glue because I want to be able to pull it off again. So I'm just going to drop that piece in like that. I'm going to do the same with the other piece. So let's be good. Let's be fair. Let's put a little bit of glue glaze on. It's far easier. And pick this up. And just paper piece that back in. Like that. There we go. And then I'm going to take that out. Look. I think that is so clever. Oh, hubby is happy. Amazon just delivered sunflower seeds, reds, oranges and yellow. Is it not too late to plant sunflower seeds, Nicola? Because I'd love to plant some in the garden. We had some a couple of years ago. But look, I mean, again, if the best thing to do is to block out so you can't see. But I think that's really good. But there's one other thing with these dies you can do as well. And it works on something I did a couple of weeks ago with everybody and showed when I did the hat. So I'm just going to tape it down and cut it again, exactly the same way. And run that through. There we go. And this time, I'm going to take the piece. I'm going to pop the die back on. Again, if you haven't got the mat, do it on a piece of card that you've... sorry, on a piece of magnetic board. I'm going to grab my dauber out that's white. So my white one. A little bit of white fusion ink. So the snowflake or the ice white. I'm just going to colour through like that. But that gives you then the highlights. So let's hold this one forward. Can you see there? Look. But what we can do is just put it on our thing and just take whatever's left on here. Yeah. And just flick a bit over from one side. So I'm coming from the right. And it just adds that little bit of shadowing on. So if I then just put that on black, can you see? Let's go forward again. You can see there, look. You actually see them. Or if we put it on our piece, you've got 3D to it. Really simple. So, excuse me, those are some fab things to add in. But we're heading towards the end because, of course, I've got to start again at 7. But thank you for joining me for midweek deals. I hope everybody got what they were after. I'm sorry that the stock went out so quickly, but we do say grab it while you can because they are limited time offer. It's why we always put in the little corner there the limited time offer thing so that, you know, people know once they're gone, they're gone. But thank you for joining me. If you've caught anything, or keep an eye on the website because they may change. I will be back in about 7 minutes for Craft Cave Live over on John Next Door official page. So click over there. It's open to anyone. Anyone can watch it. and we just demo. There's no sales, there's none of this clicking between websites, there's none of this me showing you the fancy graphics that I do. So it's just demoing, and tonight we're going to be doing all about backgrounds. If there's something you want to know about backgrounds, like inky background, pen background, something like that, you know, alcohol ink background, whatever it is you want to know, then ask, and I will try and show you that tonight on Craft Cave. If you can't join me for that, join me on Saturday for Saturday Night Live, where we've got more bargains and more deals. So if you missed out tonight, there might be a chance to grab something on Saturday. It's lovely. There's some card dies on Saturday. They are really nice. And I will be back at 6 o'clock on Sunday on the Craft Store for a brand new launch. It's not a John Next Door. It's a new tool that you will absolutely, if you like me, you'll absolutely love. I am shocked that we can do something that should take 3 to 6 months when I was a kid, and we can do it in 30 seconds. It is just amazing. And of course, that's why I've got a lot of cards prepped, ready to add something on top that just makes life easy. So if you can, join me then. If not, join me back here next week at 6 o'clock for more midweek deals. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.